Chapter 21-21, Stick Your Butt Up Higher. Damn it, don't they know to keep it down when handling business? Xing-san mumbled to himself as he walked towards the privy in the corner by the wall. Instead of entering, he just unraveled his belt at the corner beside the privy to start urinating. Whiz! Xing-san only felt a warmth in his chest and instinctively looked down, only to see a section of an arrow gleaming with a cold light protruding from his chest. A sharp pain assaulted him, and Xing-san's face was full of fear. He opened his mouth to scream loudly, but the fleeting life gave him no such chance. With a thud, he collapsed to the ground, motionless. In the dark of the night, Zhang Lin leapt off the wall without any expression and walked towards Xing-san's corpse. He reached out to check under his nose, then pulled out the arrow, causing blood to gush out from the wound like snowflakes. Not pausing for a moment longer, Zhang Lin carefully walked towards the main house. Before getting close, he could already hear the heavy breathing of a man and woman through the window coming from the bedroom. Zhang Lin, having been through the same, naturally knew what the people inside were doing, and quietly let out a sigh of relief. Stepping into the main house, the smell of alcohol and meat still lingered on the table. Zhang Lin arrogantly pulled up a chair and sat down, his eyes fixed tightly on the bedroom door. Ever since the evening when Qin Yang and Xing-san robbed him of silver, Zhang Lin had set an order for their inevitable death. After dinner, he took advantage of the cover of night to come over quietly. In no time, accompanied by the curses of a woman in the room and Qin Yang complaining tiredly, the bedroom door swung open. The first thing visible through the open bedroom door was naturally Zhang Lin. Qin Yang was first stunned, then his expression drastically changed. Whiz! Zhang Lin drew his longbow and notched an arrow. Accompanied by the sound of the arrow piercing through the air, it struck Qin Yang in the face, piercing through from the eye socket. Before Qin Yang could even let out a muffled groan, he stiffly fell to the ground. Ah! A scream echoed, but it was cut short by the cold blade that appeared in front of the eyes. Don't kill me, don't kill me. The sister-in-law, who came out of the bedroom, was trembling all over, petrified by the scene before her. The cold hunting knife grazing her neck made her soft pale skin rise with goosebumps. Just climbing off the bed, not having had the chance to put on a jacket, the sister-in-law, wearing only a pink tube top, had it slide halfway down revealing a snowy white expanse due to her trembling. Shish, don't scream. Although I don't kill women, if you alert the neighbors, I won't have a choice but to get ruthless, you understand, sister-in-law. Zhang Lin said coldly. I won't scream, I promise, hero, spare me. I know nothing, I was also brought here by Qin Yang and have been tormented every night. I wish nothing more than to dismember him. The sister-in-law was trembling all over, and her voice quivered like the tail feathers of an arrow embedded in a tree trunk. Really, in that case, Qin Yang deserved to die even more. Sister-in-law, you've been living here for this long, you must know where Qin Yang hid the silver, right? Don't say you don't. I know, I'll go get it for you. Suppressing her fear, the sister-in-law returned to the bedroom rummaging through boxes, while Zhang Lin followed closely behind her, not allowing her to step away for a moment. A moment later, she pulled out a money pouch from a camphor wood cabinet, now plump and full. From the weight and the sound of silver clinking together, it was clear it was much more than the 10 or so units of silver that went missing earlier in the evening. Is this all, hero? That's all there is, I wouldn't dare keep any for myself. Qin Yang has a group of cronies who always eat and drink together, these were secretly tucked away by myself. Zhang Lin nodded his head, suddenly wearing a lecherous expression on his face. His left hand tore down the partially exposed tube top around the sister-in-law's chest and then grabbed directly. The sister-in-law felt relieved instead, not afraid of the lascivious, just worried about encountering a cold-hearted individual. Sister-in-law, don't you think it's unreasonable to find only this much silver in the dead of night? Zhang Lin's grip tightened as he meant more than he said. The sister-in-law perked up her chest, adjusting her position to allow Zhang Lin to grasp better, her face brimming with a seductive smile. Of course it's unreasonable, hero even killed that accursed Qin Yang, I want nothing more than to repay hero's kindness as a beast of burden, the night is still young, I only hope for hero's benevolence. Come, lean over the table and lift your hips a bit higher. The sister-in-law dared not neglect, attributing it solely to Zhang Lin's peculiar fetish. Not only did she raise her hips higher, but she willingly pulled her skirt up to her waist. Chew tilde. With a crisp sound, the sharp hunting knife sliced across the sister-in-law's throat, causing blood to spurt out instantly, leaving her slumped lifeless across the table after several breaths. At this moment, Zhang Lin's eyes bore no trace of desire, only ice cold. He retrieved the arrow from Qin Yong's eye socket, found a tattered cloth to wipe clean the arrow and the blood from the hunting knife, and vaulted over the wall without looking back, vanishing into the darkness. In the darkness, Zhang Lin kept changing positions to take detours, as setting fires was unsuitable in the city. All he could do was create confusion to prevent others from tracking him down. Suddenly, a raindrop fell heavily, causing Zhang Lin to pause and look up at the sky, only for the dense rain to follow immediately after. It's raining, how perfect. Zhang Lin broke into a smile, no longer detouring, and instead ran straight toward home. A rainstorm is perfect, it washes away all traces clean. Returning home without knocking, he scaled the wall instead, wary that knocking might disturb the other families on either side. The lights in the house were not lit. Zhang Lin assumed Xiao Shido was asleep, yet upon pushing open the door, he spotted Xiao Shido sitting at the edge of the bed. Second brother. The voice was full of joy, stemming from the disappearance of fear and worry. Why aren't you asleep yet? I'm waiting for second brother. Xiao Shido quickly climbed off the bed, took the longbow and arrow quiver from Zhang Lin's hands, and hung them on the wall behind the door with familiarity. Did everything go well, second brother? It's done, very smoothly. Tomorrow we're going to study and learn characters with Master Lu, are you happy? Zhang Lin said with a smile. I'm happy. Xiao Shido nodded heavily. Haha, in a few days you might not be so happy, now off to bed. It didn't take long for the little one to fall asleep. Zhang Lin then took out the money pouch and dumped it onto the table. 48 taels of silver, 30 more than the 18 taels I lost, 30 taels for 3 lives. This world is truly dark. Zhang Lin lamented in his heart. He didn't dwell on the emotions, let alone any remorse for killing. From the moment he woke to his family being wiped out, Zhang Lin understood that in this world where the weak are prey to the strong, to live well one must be more ruthless than the villains. Otherwise, it's only a matter of time before you're devoured with nothing left. Chapter 22-22 It was you who committed the murder. Mr. Lu, here is the tuition fee from my brother and me. Zhang Lin respectfully greeted Mr. Lu while holding Little Stone's hand. The purpose of earning money is to learn to read, and learning to read is for practicing martial arts. The order must not be changed. So, after having breakfast early this morning, the two went to Mr. Lu's place in the south of the city to learn to read. Mr. Lu is a middle-aged man in his 40s, with a thin figure, an angular face, and a meticulously groomed beard on his chin. Dressed in a blue long robe, he exudes an air of scholarly elegance that commands respect. Mr. Lu glanced at the silver and pork placed on the table and nodded, saying, "It's admirable for someone of your age to have such a passion for the way of the sages. Did you bring pen, ink, paper, and inkstone?" "Yes, we did." "Very well, take a seat." "Yes, sir." Zhang Lin led Little Stone into the classroom and sat at the desk at the back of the room. This classroom was converted from Mr. Lu's home. The desks and chairs were arranged neatly, fitting only 18 people at most when fully occupied. As soon as Zhang Lin and his brother entered, they immediately drew the attention of everyone in the room, accompanied by a series of giggles. Most of those learning to read were young children, the oldest being no more than 8 or 9 years old. It was unusual for someone like Zhang Lin, already 15 or 16, to join a basic literacy class for children. Ahem. A light cough sounded, causing the little kids in the classroom to sit up straight and focus their eyes forward. Now, let's start reciting. I'll read a sentence, and then you repeat it. Yes, sir. The celestial stars, sun, and moon traverse the heavens rapidly. The celestial stars, sun, and moon. Mr. Lu's teaching method was straightforward. First, memorize, then teach how to write, and finally explain the meaning of each character. In simple terms, it was rote memorization. For the young children, it was extremely painful, but for Zhang Lin, it was a source of joy. What he lacked was systematic learning of the characters of this world. In the morning, they learned 10 characters and then began writing them stroke by stroke. System. A flash of light, and a semi-transparent system panel appeared before his eyes. Host. Zhang Lin. Skills. Bow technique full level, flying locust stone full level, 3D art full level, calligraphy beginner. Skill points. 8. Seeing the word calligraphy appear on the system panel, Zhang Lin did not know whether to laugh or cry. I haven't even learned all the characters yet, and I already have calligraphy. No, this won't do. I need to pay extra in the afternoon to see if Mr. Lu can give me some special lessons. In thought, he casually maxed out the calligraphy skill. As his consciousness trembled, countless memories surged in, and now when looking at the book in his hand, even though he still didn't recognize the characters, Zhang Lin knew how to write them elegantly and beautifully. At midday, as Mr. Lu dismissed the class, all the students rushed out like unleashed wild dogs. Zhang Lin also bowed and took Little Stone with him as they returned to Sweetwater Alley. Passing by East Market, they bought an old goose, intending to make a stew at home. Recently, Zhang Lin and his brother have had a steady supply of rich food, and they finally started gaining weight, no longer as skinny as bamboo poles. Just as they entered Sweetwater Alley, they encountered a neighbor fetching water. Thanks to Little Stone, everyone in the alley now knew the two brothers. Big Lin, what were you up to all morning? The government office people came and left a message for you to go to the office in the afternoon. Zhang Lin feigned confusion and asked, Aunt Zhang, what happened? I went to Mr. Lu's house with Little Stone to pay the tuition this morning. Why would the government office be looking for me? Oh, don't worry, it's just routine questioning. Someone died last night, reportedly 3 people at once. Not only did they rob, but they also assaulted someone. They even did it in front of the woman's husband, truly despicable. Aunt Zhang, in her 40s, lived next door to Zhang Lin. She spoke freely and even described to Zhang Lin how Qin Yang's wife was killed lying on the table, and her chest was bitten, with her lower body also violated. The description was so vivid that Zhang Lin was stunned, even suspecting that after he left yesterday, another thief crept in. Zhang Lin, Aunt Zhang, have they found the murderer? Not a trace. It rained so heavily last night. Who knows where that scoundrel ran off to? A rain like that washed away all the footprints. Otherwise, the government wouldn't be conducting routine inquiries here. You should find some time to visit them this afternoon. I'll tell them you were out buying things. Aunt Zhang said. Thank you, Aunt Zhang. Big Lin, have you thought about the matter I asked you the day before? My sister-in-law's neighbor's daughter is really nice, well endowed, and would surely be fertile. She doesn't mind that you two brothers don't have parents. Aunt Zhang, I just remembered, I haven't collected my clothes from the line yet. Let's talk next time, next time. With that, he dragged Little Stone to his home in a hurry, peeking back like a thief to ensure Aunt Zhang wasn't following. Big brother, I think Aunt Yang's suggestion isn't bad. Why not agree? Little Stone said with a cheeky smile. Thud, Zhang Lin lightly knocked Little Stone on the head. Dare to laugh at your brother. Go write each character given by Mr. Lu 10 times. Okay. After lunch, Zhang Lin calmly walked towards the government office. As Aunt Zhang mentioned, the heavy rain last night washed away all traces. With ancient forensic methods, identifying him among all the residents of Black Mountain County would be as hard as ascending to heaven. So what is there to fear? What business do you have? Zhang Lin stepped forward and saluted, saying, Officer, I'm a resident of Sweetwater Alley named Zhang Lin. I was coincidentally not home when the officers came to inquire earlier. I'm here to report now. The young government official gave Zhang Lin a once-over and waved him inside. Turn left inside, and don't wander about. Understood. Zhang Lin saluted again, entered through a side door, and followed the path paved with blue bricks to the spot indicated by the government official. There, a few dozen people were already waiting. Zhang Lin quietly joined the end of the line, listening to the questions coming from inside. They were simply inquiring whether anyone went out or saw strangers last night, just some routine questions. After answering, a check mark was made on the record, and the person was waved out. Zhang Lin breathed a sigh of relief, not speaking to anyone, staying at the back of the line quietly waiting. After about an hour, it was finally Zhang Lin's turn, and he stepped inside. Inside, there were 3 government officials. The one asking questions was a middle-aged man, with a bored-looking young man sitting beside him and an elderly person taking notes. Were you the one who committed last night's murders? As Zhang Lin stepped into the room, the middle-aged official, with unrelenting bluntness, posed the startling question. Chapter 23-23 Life is really fucking messed up. Was it you who committed the murder last night? The words resounded in Zhang Lin's mind like a thunderclap, and he quickly put on a panicked and fearful expression, his voice trembling as he said, Officer. Officer, please don't make false accusations, I am a law-abiding citizen. A law-abiding citizen? The middle-aged government official shot a sharp gaze, slamming the table. I know you, the painter selling paintings next to the dining pot tower, selling a painting for 3 taels of silver, making more than 10 taels of silver in just one afternoon. That street is managed by Qin Yang, and Qin Yang surely wouldn't let go of a cash cow like you, extorting silver from you, and you held a grudge, broke into his house at night, and killed 3 people, isn't that so? Zhang Lin put on an expression as if he was about to cry and said, Officer, I wouldn't dare say that. I just settled in Black Mountain County and don't even know who Qin Yang is, so how could I kill anyone? Besides, after I returned home yesterday afternoon, I didn't go out again, and my neighbors can vouch for me. Still dare to quibble, I see you won't shed tears till you see the coffin. Guys, take him, I don't believe I can't pry open your mouth. With the middle-aged government official scolding, a young man beside him stood up slowly. Just then, another government official ran in from the door, whispered a few words, and the 3 of them showed a look of joy and quickly followed him out. As they were about to walk out the door, the middle-aged government official turned back and shouted at Zhang Lin, wait here, don't leave without my order. With the 3 of them gone, only Zhang Lin was left in the room. Zhang Lin's mind was racing. The government office couldn't possibly know he killed the 3 people of Qin Yang, what they said was definitely just to trick him. But Zhang Lin suddenly thought of something. This era wasn't like the well-established legal society of his previous life, where everything required evidence. Here, being forced to confess under torture was common, even in the past life there was the great memory recovery technique, let alone here. Zhang Lin lowered his head, his eyes flickering with uncertainty, pondering what to do next. Running was not an option, as this is the county government, not the wilderness, especially with Little Stone still at home. Damn it! Just as Zhang Lin was feeling anxious, footsteps came from outside the door. It was the young government official from before. Are you a painter? Yes, officer, any instructions? Zhang Lin quickly replied. Follow me. The young government official led Zhang Lin directly towards the main hall of the county government. As Zhang Lin walked, he looked around. The hall was spacious, with 2 rows of wooden racks on each side, neatly lined with wooden staves, copper gongs, treasure parasols, ceremonial items, and weapons. At the back of the hall was a desk, with documents, slips, pen racks, and red ink stones all in place. Several people stood in the hall, including the middle-aged government official who had previously deceived him, but they all centered around an elder sitting in a taishi chair. The elder wore official attire, his face stern, exuding an official air that made it hard for people to look directly at him. Quickly pay your respects to the county magistrate, the young government official reminded him. Zhang Lin did not dare delay, hastily bowing. Commoner Zhang Lin, paying respects to the county magistrate. The county magistrate was the assistant to the county magistrate, mainly responsible for security, inspections, arrests, and other administrative tasks, second in position only to the county magistrate. All right, start painting. The county magistrate waved his hand, signaling Zhang Lin to get to work. The middle-aged government official said, Zhang Lin, the government office is giving you a chance to redeem yourself by drawing the appearance of the thief based on the description, hurry up. Zhang Lin took a deep breath. At this moment, he could do nothing but follow orders. Stepping forward, he went to the already prepared pen, ink, paper, and inkstone, where a person dressed as a pharmacy apprentice began describing the thief's features. As the other person described, the image of the thief quickly formed in Zhang Lin's mind. Moments later, Zhang Lin picked up his brush and began to paint. In just the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, a bearded image came to life on the paper, with fierce eyes, as if it could walk out of the painting at any moment. That's him, that's him. The pharmacy apprentice pointed at the figure in the painting and shouted. The constables and the county magistrate who were watching Zhang Lin's painting were equally stunned. It was mainly because Zhang Lin's 3-dimensional painting technique was indeed shocking, lifelike, like a photograph, seemingly ready to step out at any time. Old Fang, go issue the sea capture notice. Don't let the thief escape. Yes. The middle-aged government official acknowledged the order, took the portrait Zhang Lin had just drawn, blew on the ink to dry it, and left the hall. Your name is Zhang. I'm Zhang Lin. Zhang Lin. The county magistrate nodded. I see you, Mr. Zhang, your painting skill is extraordinary. If you can assist the county government in sketching wanted criminals, it would greatly enhance our county's security. I wonder, Mr. Zhang, I would be willing, thank you, county magistrate, for your recognition. Zhang Lin agreed decisively, feeling ecstatic inside that a solution had come. County Magistrate, the constable just now said I was involved in Qin Yong's death, am I? The county magistrate looked puzzled. Who is Qin Yong? Sir, Qin Yong was one of the victims in the robbery and murder case yesterday. A constable whispered an explanation beside him. Just a rascal, let the Blackwater gang find him themselves. The county magistrate snorted coldly, got up and left directly, leaving Zhang Lin still baffled. Brother Zhang, congratulations, we're colleagues now. I'm Kai Yan, a few years older than you, feel free to call me Brother Yan. Kai Yan, the young government official who had led Zhang Lin in, greeted him with a full face of smiles. Brother Yan, what did the county magistrate mean just now? Am I in the clear? Zhang Lin cautiously asked. Haha, Kai Yan laughed heartily, patting Zhang Lin on the shoulder, you were fine all along, just now old Fang was trying to trick you. Just a rascal died, the government office doesn't bother with gang feuds. The questioning was just a formality, if they want the killer, let the Blackwater gang find them themselves. Damn it, they really were tricking me, my soul almost jumped out from fright. Thinking of that middle-aged government official called Old Fang, Zhang Lin had a mind to drive an arrow through his heart. Come on, I'll take you to get you started with the job. Kai Yan draped his arm over Zhang Lin's shoulder and walked towards the office area. The government office had 6 clerks. The office was located in rooms on either side outside the main hall. Kai Yan led Zhang Lin into one, found an old clerk to register his name and place of origin, then handed him a badge. As they walked out, Zhang Lin's eyes were still a bit dazed, as if on a roller coaster ride from entering the county government to now. Who would have thought he would finally become a part of the government office? This life is really darn funny. Chapter 24-24 A Colorful Day. Brother Kai, what was that maritime arrest warrant about just now? Kai Yan didn't pay attention to how Zhang Lin's address changed from Brother Yan to Brother Kai. He casually replied, the person you drew is named Dan Wenlong, known as Guo Shanfang, a notorious pirate. A few days ago, the Lin family in the county town was robbed, and it was his doing. Master Lin was furious, so the county magistrate ordered a thorough investigation. So that's how it is. Through his observations and understanding over the past few days, Zhang Lin had roughly grasped the power dynamics in the county town. In simple terms, the court, the aristocratic families, and the gangs stood in a triangular standoff. Among them, the gangs were the weakest, but they allied with the martial arts schools, allowing them to barely contend with the court and the aristocratic families. However, Zhang Lin always felt that there was something more to it, possibly hidden aspects he had not yet seen. As they walked, the two arrived at an empty area, paved with bluestone. Racks on both sides held weapons, and there were some stone locks and other stone tools in the corners. On that training ground, a few constables were practicing martial arts. Even from nearly 100 meters away, Zhang Lin could hear the explosive sound of punches, like thunder. Zhang Lin slowly stopped, his eyes tightly fixed on the government officials on the training ground, his breathing becoming more rapid. Martial arts. This was true martial arts, transcendent power. Otherwise, how could human strength produce such terrifying power? He wondered which realm of martial arts they were in, as Kui Xian had mentioned. Kai Yan also noticed Zhang Lin's expression and merely thought of it as youthful admiration for power, teasingly saying, "You're part of the government office now too. If you want to learn, you can choose a book from the martial arts pavilion." Zhang Lin sharply turned to Kai Yan, astonished, the government office teaches martial arts. Of course, if we don't practice martial arts, how would we catch thieves? I can also learn martial arts here. Zhang Lin's breathing quickened. He hadn't realized that the opportunity to learn martial arts would be at the government office, and in such an unexpected way. You're also part of the government office, so naturally, you can learn. However, martial arts requires talent, and many lay the foundation when they're young. You're already 14 or 15, it's hard to say. Kai Yan looked Zhang Lin up and down, shaking his head. It doesn't matter as long as I can learn. As for future achievements, it depends on personal fortune. Brother Kai, I've felt an affinity with you since we met. Let's go out for a drink, Zhang Lin joyfully said. You're buying. Of course, I'm buying. Let's go. Shortly after, Zhang Lin was taken by Kai Yan to the Tianxiang building, where he ordered a young courtesan to accompany them in drinking. The Tianxiang building was named to rival the Nuoxiang building, but its level was not just a grade lower. However, even so, the prices here still made Zhang Lin's heart ache. Brother Kai, I'm new here. Although I've joined the government office, I don't understand the situation at all. Please enlighten me, Zhang Lin requested after first offering a toast. Kai Yan wasn't polite, downing his drink in one gulp and pulling the nearby lady into his arms, letting her sit on his lap. It's easy to explain. Over time, you'll figure it out yourself. The highest authority in our government office is naturally the county magistrate. The lord's surname is Mei, given name is Hai Ming, a graduate, and a member of the capital's Mei family. Beneath him are Chief Clerk Zhang and County Magistrate Du. These two are from the Zhang family and Du family in the county town, respectively. Though their family backgrounds can't compare with the county magistrates, they're not at our level of mud-legged people. The last one to watch out for is the chief constable, Head Shui. For now, let's just say that Head Shui is a 6th grade martial arts expert who has cultivated Qi blood. You know he's formidable, got it? Kai Yan laughed heartily as he outlined the power structure of the county government. Upon hearing this, Zhang Lin's eyes lit up. 6th grade, Qi blood, this must be the middle 3rd grades of martial arts that old Kui mentioned. As he pondered, Zhang Lin poured Kai Yan another drink, curiously asking, Brother Kai, I've heard others mention that martial arts 9th grade is divided into upper, middle, and lower. How is the 6th grade different? Different, of course it's different. Martial arts 9th grade is divided into the lower 3 grades of body refining, the middle 3rd grades of blood coagulation, and the upper 3rd grades of Qi cultivation. Each realm can be worlds apart. I'm currently at the 8th rank of muscle transformation. Ordinary people can't get close to me with dozens of them, but against Head Shui, he could crush me with one hand. Do you think that's powerful? Kai Yan explained. Powerful. Zhang Lin nodded emphatically. The mountain bandit known as Mountain Tiger, with 9th grade skin refinement cultivation, couldn't be pierced by arrows. It's imaginable that Kai Yan's 8th rank muscle transformation is even stronger. Yet, Kai Yan still couldn't withstand a single hand from the chief constable. Zhang Lin didn't comprehend how to compare combat strength between realms, but he could imagine just how terrifying the chief constable was. The two continued drinking and asking questions, mostly Zhang Lin asking and Kai Yan answering. This brief exchange significantly clarified the situation at the county government for Zhang Lin. In summary, the county magistrate was the highest authority, with numerous factions beneath him. However, the county government held absolute authority in Black Mountain County, and in the future, when Zhang Lin went out to paint for others, no one would dare charge him a protection fee. This was the aspect Zhang Lin was most pleased with. Brother Zhang, the spring night is worth 1,000 gold, don't miss the beauty, Kai Yan teased as he led a courtesan to a private room. The courtesan sitting next to Zhang Lin seemed to be drunk, leaning against him like a pile of mud, waiting for Zhang Lin to undress her and join her in revelry. Unfortunately, at this moment, Zhang Lin had no such thoughts, not because he lacked desire, but because his body hadn't been properly nurtured yet. He didn't want to indulge before his body was healed, lest he suffer consequences for a lifetime. With a wave of his hand, he dismissed the courtesan, sitting for a while longer before leaving the Tianxiang building. As for Kai Yan, he intended to spend the night there. As Zhang Lin left the Tianxiang building, the sun was beginning to set. By the time he returned to Sweetwater Alley, it was already dark. Second brother. Seeing Zhang Lin's silhouette appear, Little Stone darted out, full of joy and welcome. You've been drinking. Little Stone wrinkled his nose. The smell was just like when father and Uncle Cauliflower drank together. Zhang Lin patted Little Stone's head and handed him a paper parcel he was holding with his right hand. I met a friend today. Here, I brought you a roast chicken. Go eat it. Sleep early, you have to go to Teacher Lou's tomorrow. Okay. Little Stone went to the kitchen to eat. Zhang Lin went into the study to organize the day's events. In just 2 days, many things had happened. First, he earned over 30 taels of silver from selling paintings, then encountered Qin Yang and Xing San, cutting their throats under the night's cover. Today, he went to school in the morning to recognize characters, then to the county government in the afternoon, where he also got a job as a painter. The most important thing was that he didn't need to become an apprentice at any martial arts school, he could learn martial arts at the government office. What a colorful day. Chapter 25 to 25 Iron Mountain Skill. You want me to spend my free time teaching you to read? Mr. Liu stroked his beard, his tone neither happy nor sad. Yes, Mr. Liu, I want to learn a certain number of characters as quickly as possible, at least to be able to read and write. This is my tuition, Zhang Lin said in a deep voice. Mr. Liu, who was initially about to scold Zhang Lin, suddenly stopped when he saw the 5-tael silver ingot on the table. It proves that money can solve 99% of the issues in this world, and the remaining 1% is because there's not enough money. Considering your eagerness to learn, I agree. You may come to see me every afternoon. Yes, Mr. Liu waved his hand across the table casually, as if it were a breeze, and the silver on the table vanished without a trace. While recognizing characters in the morning, Zhang Lin discovered something. His full-level calligraphy skill greatly enhanced his ability to recognize characters. The characters in this world are similar to Chinese, also pictographic. Full-level calligraphy allows Zhang Lin to better analyze the strokes and structures of these characters. Understanding through interpretation is much faster than rote memorization. In a day, recognizing 100 characters is possible, let alone 10. Moreover, there's plenty of time. Zhang Lin is only an artist in the government office, not a constable. He just needs to check in once in the morning and is free afterward. Technically, he should stay in the office, but no one cares about him. Zhang Lin takes this opportunity to practice recognizing characters, but he can't do so for long, so he must complete this task as soon as possible. Brother Zhang, this is old Joe, a veteran in our government office. Almost every constable learning martial arts has consulted old Joe, even Chief Shui has consulted him, Kai Yan said, pointing at a constable with graying hair in a black robe. Old Joe looks to be in his 50s, his temples already gray, but his posture remains extremely straight, and his eyes are sharp and spirited. Although the martial arts pavilion has secret martial arts manuals, reading them alone might not get you on the right track anytime soon. The best way is to find someone to teach you hands-on. Therefore, Zhang Lin asked Kai Yan to help find a teacher. Old Joe was the mentor introduced by Kai Yan, also a constable in the county government, but due to his age, he no longer catches criminals and deals with miscellaneous tasks in the office. Old Joe, although only at the 9th grade in the skin-grinding realm, has studied Flying Crane Fist extensively and is more than enough as your martial arts mentor. Zhang Lin dared not to be negligent and cupped his hands in salute, saying, Zhang Lin greets Old Joe, this little gift is a small token of respect. Old Joe waved his hand and said with a grin, there's no need for formalities like Old Joe, just call me Old Joe. We are all from the government office, a word will suffice, forget about the gift. Old Joe, are you sure? This is a 20-year-old Wadiao wine from Beishan Tower that Brother Zhang specially fetched for you, it costs 5 taels of silver for this jar, Kai Yan joked. As soon as the words were spoken, Old Joe's gaze fixed on the wine jar in Zhang Lin's hand, his eyes glinted, and he swallowed unconsciously. That's too extravagant, but I won't be polite then. Speaking, he directly took the wine jar from Zhang Lin's hand, gently sniffed it after removing the seal, and then exclaimed with a face full of satisfaction, it's indeed the drunken Wadiao from Beishan Tower, good wine indeed. As long as Old Joe likes it. I told you, just call me Old Joe. Now, let me check your bones. Check my bones. Zhang Lin looked excited, wondering if he might be one of those legendary martial arts geniuses. Seeing Zhang Lin's expression, Old Joe knew what he was thinking and said with a smile, I'm checking your bones, not your innate talent, mainly to see your skeletal structure and determine which martial art suits you best. Saying this, he took Zhang Lin's hand, feeling his wrist bones, shoulders, hip bones, and the spinal bones at the back. After a moment, he stopped and exclaimed, Zhang Lin, your bones are excellent, standard tiger back and B waist, it's just that your diet before was lacking, and you didn't develop fully. How old are you this year? 15, almost 16. That's okay, you can still grow. Eat more meat in the future, and get some supplements prescribed by the doctor at the clinic. Your height should reach 6 feet at least, Old Joe said. Old Joe, which martial art do you think suits me? Zhang Lin asked. Zhang Lin had just been to the martial arts pavilion, where there were 13 complete martial arts manuals, each with a different focus. Sometimes, the martial art isn't about being the strongest, but about being the most suitable for oneself. Old Joe smiled and said, your kind of skeleton is most suited for hard-hitting fist and kick skills. Iron Mountain skill is perfect for you. Iron Mountain skill. Chief Shui practiced this martial art before, his iron fists were invincible in the entire Black Mountain County. I didn't expect you, Brother Zhang, to be suited for this martial art as well, Kai Yan said in surprise. Old Joe nodded and said, light as a willow, deep as the wind, old ape leaping on the sun to support me. This is a highly powerful martial art, emphasizing a force that overwhelms 10 skills. Zhang Lin, do you know how to read? I know a part, not completely. I'm currently learning to read with Mr. Liu in the southern part of the city, Zhang Lin said. Learning to read is good, there are many formulas in the secret manual, you should memorize them more after learning to read, ponder their profound meaning. For now, you can practice the moves, this martial art I studied for some time in my younger days, let me teach you. Old Joe took off his clothes, revealing his well-built muscles that rivaled those of young men, then lifted his arms, stepping in the heavenly gang stance. The purpose of practicing the moves is to mobilize the chi blood within the body, so that the chi blood can flow faster, thus achieving the purpose of tempering the body. Martial arts 9th to lower 3rd grades primarily focus on body refinement, regardless of the martial art, just with different focuses, such as my main practice in Flying Crane Fist, which emphasizes lightness, evasion, and movement technique. Old Joe demonstrated systematically, move by move, extremely fluent, from simple to complex, with actions gradually becoming more complex. Initially, it was just punching and kicking, later even high-difficulty moves like flipping in midair appeared. After about 7 or 8 minutes, Old Joe finally finished, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and continued, I really am getting old. After Old Joe caught his breath, he began instructing Zhang Lin on the punching techniques. Initially, Zhang Lin's movements were very stiff, sporadic, especially those high-difficulty actions, he couldn't execute them at all. Later, he was mimicking the moves, barely managing to complete the entire boxing sequence, which already took an entire hour. Alright, that's enough for today, time to head home. Zhang Lin also wiped his forehead sweat and cupped his hands, thank you, Old Joe. Old Joe waved his hand, picked up the wine jar, and stepped away. Kai Yan also got up from his chair and, before Zhang Lin could speak, said, Brother Zhang, do you have any silver on you? Lend me 3 taels for an emergency. Zhang Lin was taken aback but still took out 3 taels of silver from his pocket and handed them over. Thanks. Chapter 26-26. On high, building a roof terrace. The dinner was braised pork. 2 thick, succulent pieces of braised pork were just out of the pot. He clamped them into a steaming hot bun, and the pork juices soaked into the leavened bun. Just the sight made one drool. Zhang Lin and Stone exchanged a glance and started wolfing down the food. There was still chicken soup stewing in the clay pot. A layer of yellow chicken fat floated on the milky white soup, showing that it was made from an old hen. With a few bites, the bun with braised pork was devoured. Zhang Lin found 2 chopsticks to tear apart the thoroughly stewed hen, and then took a coarse porcelain bowl and a wooden spoon to serve 2 bowls of soup. Each of them had a bowl. The chicken soup was rich and delicious, making one unable to resist having a few more bowls. System. Host. Zhang Lin. Skills. Bow technique full level, flying locust stone full level, 3D painting full level, calligraphy full level, culinary skill full level, iron mountain skill beginner. Skill points. 8. On the system panel, 2 more skills appeared, one being cooking, and the other was iron mountain skill, which was just learned this afternoon. Since transmigrating, Zhang Lin has done most of the cooking, so it's normal for culinary skills to appear on the system panel. The recent braised pork and shredded hen were just a trial, and it's undeniable that the full-level culinary skill indeed tasted great, making Little Stone almost swallow his own tongue. After the meal, Little Stone automatically did the dishes, while Zhang Lin went to the open space in the yard. With a thought, the word, beginner, behind, iron mountain skill, transformed into, full level, in an instant. Memories of cultivating, iron mountain skill, flooded into his mind. In these memories, he practiced this martial art diligently day after day for 10 years, honing fist and foot techniques, refining strength, and practicing the martial art more than 10 times daily for a total of 20 years, pushing it to its extreme. His fists and footwork became instinctual. Host. Zhang Lin. Skills. Bow technique full level, flying locust stone full level, 3D painting full level, calligraphy full level, culinary skill full level, iron mountain skill full level. Skill points. 8. Zhang Lin slowly opened his eyes, murmuring to himself, light as a willow swaying deep as the wind, the old ape crosses the sun supporting my top. So that's how it is, so that's how it is. Moving his body, Zhang Lin began practicing martial arts in the yard. The technique was exactly the iron mountain skill, taught by Old Joe this afternoon. Compared to the stiffness and awkwardness when first learning, Zhang Lin's technique now seemed like he had been practicing for decades, effortlessly executed with explosive power. His spine was like a great dragon, hands like dragon claws, suddenly twisting his body like a python coiling, tightening his body. After just one set of punches, Zhang Lin felt the blood inside him surging like a mighty river, coursing through every corner and cell of his body with each heartbeat. The essence of Iron Mountain skill lies not only in the maneuvering of fists and feet but in the breathing coordination. Using the breath to stimulate the visceral movement promotes blood circulation. The core essence of Iron Mountain skill is in the hidden, breathing skill. Zhang Lin felt a stir in his mind and started practicing a round of martial arts from beginning to end, adjusting his breath with each punch and stance, either quickly or slowly, taking long breaths or holding them to stimulate his chest and abdomen. Completing the entire set of martial arts, Zhang Lin stood still, his skin red as a boiled prawn, sweating profusely. Beads of sweat fell instantly, while steam rose from his head, forming a misty aura. After a while, Zhang Lin slowly opened his eyes and let out a long breath of foul air. Though his body was exhausted, Zhang Lin felt incredibly exhilarated. Yes, this is the correct way to use the golden finger. The full-level cultivation experience is like starting over in a reincarnated life, with wisdom from a higher vantage point. Zhang Lin was uncontrollably excited. His point-adding system merely increased experience, with no transformation of the body itself. Everything still required his effort, but even so, compared to others, this was the biggest bug. With the support of full-level experience, further cultivation was from a higher vantage point, like a rebirth. Looking down at himself, Zhang Lin felt his muscles swelling up, firm as rocks. He walked straight to the millstone by the wall, easily grabbed and lifted it several times without feeling any soreness. It's no illusion, this cultivation session had such an effect. At this rate, it won't be long before I advance in martial arts. Zhang Lin's heart was filled with joy. Gurgle tilde. A sound came from his abdomen, and Zhang Lin showed a strange expression on his face. The sound was familiar, a rumbling of hunger. Zhang Lin had just eaten to fullness, but merely an hour later, his body was hungry again. Energy conservation. Zhang Lin smiled bitterly, turning to the kitchen to finish the leftover rice in large mouthfuls. In my memories, when practicing Iron Mountain skill, my original self would consume medicinal meats daily to supplement the body. It looks like in reality, I also need to eat more energy-boosting and blood-supplementing foods, or else, before the martial art is mastered, I would practice myself to death. Zhang Lin was aware of the saying, a rich martial arts practitioner needs wealth, meaning daily provisions like meat and eggs are necessary to cultivate a powerful physique. Early the next day, after sending Little Stone to Mr. Liu, Zhang Lin turned to head for the government office. The workload for an artist at the government office wasn't much, as it's impossible for there to be notorious bandits every day, encountering one or two a year was significant. As a newcomer, after showing up at the government office to make his presence known, Zhang Lin carried his brush, ink, paper, and inkstone, heading once again to the East Market. Today, he had an appointment to paint a portrait of a gentleman named Li. Over the days, Zhang Lin had become very adept at his painting business. Upon arrival, he promptly began, and an hour later, returned with 6 taels of silver as a fee, but instead of going back to the government office, he headed to a medicine shop in the West City. As Zhang Lin walked in, the doctor on duty warmly asked, "Where are you feeling uncomfortable?" Zhang Lin shook his head and said, "I'm not here to see a doctor, I'm here to buy medicine." "Oh, do you have a prescription?" "No, I'm here to buy medicinal food for martial arts training." The doctor seemed thoughtful. After looking at Zhang Lin, he nodded and said, "Besides some secret medicines needed for special martial arts, training primarily aims to strengthen qi and blood. I do have a recipe for 8 treasures blood-building soup, which requires 8 precious herbs to brew and greatly aids in martial arts training to strengthen qi and blood. However, it is quite expensive, so it depends if you're willing to spend the silver." Chapter 27-27 Blood Supplement Soup. Zhang Lin showed an interested expression on his face and casually said, "You're not lying to me, are you?" That question made the doctor so angry that he glared and shouted, "My family has been running a pharmacy here for 5 generations, a whole century already, how could I possibly deceive you?" Zhang Lin didn't respond and continued to inquire, "How much does it cost?" HMPH. A dose of 8 treasures blood-building soup costs 3 taels of silver and lasts for 3 days. Expensive. It's really damn expensive. Zhang Lin hesitated a bit. Just 1 dose costs 3 taels of silver, which is the same as the annual rent for the apartment he rented. Can it be a bit cheaper? No. Is the effect really as good as you say? You can choose not to buy it. The doctor's attitude was getting worse, with a look that seemed to say, "Buy it if you want," written all over his face, clearly irritated by Zhang Lin's words earlier. "Alright, let me try 2 doses first." After pondering for a while, Zhang Lin decided to purchase 2 doses of the 8 treasures blood-building soup. Upon hearing this, the doctor got up and headed to the back room. Moments later, he returned with 2 paper-wrapped herb packages, instructing, "Mix with hot water, once a day, no more, no less." Zhang Lin readily paid the 6 taels of silver and left with the medicine packages in hand. After buying the medicine, Zhang Lin did not head home directly but turned to visit a tea house. He ordered a pot of green tea and 2 plates of snacks, quietly savoring them in a corner. The tea house is a place where people come to drink tea and relax. In the center was a high platform, where an elderly man in a gray robe was currently giving a mimicry performance, with sounds ranging from male and female voices to dog barks and bird calls, all vividly imitated. After the performance was over, he took a sip of tea, moistening his throat before starting to talk about books again. Zhang Lin wasn't there for relaxation. If it were relaxation he sought, wouldn't Tianxiang Tower or Nuofeng Building be better than this place? The main reason for being here was to listen to people from all over bragging and to learn about the local customs through their stories. For example, the Black Mountain County beneath his feet belonged to Tianyang County, one of the 8 counties of the Chen country. Currently, the monarch of Great Chen is Emperor Sheng Yun, and this legacy has lasted for 160 years. After finishing the last sip of his green tea and swallowing the last piece of cake, Zhang Lin rose to leave the tea house. While passing by the East Market, he happened to see a snake catcher selling a freshly caught black ring snake. The black ring snake was entirely jet black, with a darker ring-like pattern around its neck, and this snake was as thick as an arm, looking extremely fierce. At first sight of the snake, Zhang Lin's eyes lit up, and after some haggling, he bought it directly. After returning home, he skillfully gutted the snake, using the snake gall to brew wine. After some preparation, a pot of snake stew was freshly made. In the meantime, Zhang Lin also lit a fire and heated a pot, adding a big chunk of cork lard, a handful of chopped green onions, and a star anise, cooking them till fragrant. He then cracked 6 eggs into the pot, frying them till they turned golden brown, before adding hot water to the pot, turning the water into a milky soup. When the pot boiled, he added handmade noodles, and soon a hot bowl of fried pan-cooked handmade noodles was ready. Let's dig in. Zhang Lin and Little Stone each took a bowl and began to eat, slurping down the noodles in a few gulps, followed by finishing the snake stew while their stomachs were full. It was delightful and satisfying. After resting for a while, Zhang Lin instructed Little Stone not to run around, and then headed out to Mr. Lu's residence. In the morning, Zhang Lin no longer went to class. It was only in the afternoon that he went to learn to read and write, and with a full-level calligraphy foundation, he was learning increasingly quickly, sometimes learning more than 100 characters in an afternoon. In at most a month's time, Zhang Lin would be able to master some commonly used fonts and be capable of normal reading and writing. Mr. Lu had said that from ancient times until now, there have been about 50,000 characters, but only 3,000 to 4,000 are commonly used. As long as one doesn't encounter those ancient texts, reading and writing would be manageable. Returning home at dusk, still with time to spare, Zhang Lin decided to try the 8 treasures blood-building soup. He took out a package and opened it, finding not the typical medicinal herbs, but some powder. He took a third of it and mixed it with boiling water to drink. Not long after taking the 8 treasures blood-building soup, Zhang Lin felt as if there was a ball of fire in his stomach. What a potent effect! That old physician indeed didn't lie to me. Zhang Lin dared not be careless and quickly moved to the courtyard, using his palms to begin practicing punches. With breathing reverberating between his mouth and nose, the unique breathing technique of Iron Mountain skill resonated throughout his body. Unlike previous training with Iron Mountain skill, Zhang Li clearly felt that a warm stream seemed to be bred from that ball of fire in his abdomen, circulating throughout his body with the flow of blood, while droplets of gray sweat seeped from his pores. Zhang Lin was exhilarated and continued to practice punches. Once, twice, thrice. This time, he managed to practice the punches 6 times before stopping. Had it been yesterday, his body would have been sore and unable to continue long ago. This 8 treasures blood-building soup indeed has miraculous effects. Just one time was enough to support my body through 6 rounds of practicing punches. Thanks to the full-level, Iron Mountain skill, I could absorb the medicinal power well, wasting less than half a tenth of it. For others, even with the 8 treasures blood-building soup, they could absorb at most 6 to 7 tenths of the medicinal Power. Zhang Lin clenched his fists, feeling power coursing through his entire body. He understood why martial artists needed medicinal food. With it, progress was vastly different. No wonder people say that wealth is needed for martial training, only with medicinal food can one progress rapidly. But unfortunately, it is very expensive, and those who are not well off cannot afford to train, and forced training could ruin their bodies. This 8 treasures blood building soup must continue to be used, the high cost is its only downside. Zhang Lin squeezed the muscles on his arms. Without medicinal food, it would have taken at least a few months for normal dietary supplements to achieve such effects, but with martial training, it was done in just 2 days, making him marvel at the wonders of martial arts even more. He took some hot water prepared by Little Stone from the kitchen and washed off the sweat from his body in the open space. Half a month later. Sweetwater Alley, Zhang family. A serving of cold mixed vegetables, a serving of crystal dumplings, and a serving of white rice. This was the lunch for Zhang Lin and Little Stone, the 2 brothers. In half a month's time, Little Stone no longer had the malnourished image of a big head and a small body, even Zhang Lin himself had grown half a head taller, with tanned skin turning fair, becoming bronze-colored, and gaining muscle, transforming into what old Joe described as a robust youth with a tiger back and wasp waist. Now Zhang Lin was firmly established in Black Mountain County. Every 2 or 3 days, someone would come to commission a painting, and he would earn no less than 5 taels of silver each time. Additionally, being affiliated with the government office, no one dared to extort protection fees from him. Zhang Lin grew increasingly grateful for becoming a government painter that day. Although painting for the government only provided an income of about 1 tael of silver per month, justifying it as voluntary work, the status of being a painter for the government ensured that his life in Black Mountain County was prosperous. Chapter 28-28. Being an artist is also dangerous. Big Lin is here, shall we go out for a drink tonight? Big Lin, come, these are meat buns your sister-in-law steamed this morning, thin skin, lots of meat, absolutely delicious, try them. Brother Zhang, I'm also practicing the Iron Mountain skill, let me give you some pointers. Zhang Lin had just walked into the government office early in the morning, when all the government officials and constables gathered around him. Some were offering buns, some offering roast cakes, and others wanted to give him martial arts tips. His popularity was unbelievably good, one would think he was the son of some high official in the government office. In fact, this situation only began 3 days ago. Zhang Lin used to be almost invisible. The status of a government office artist was more of an attachment, considered an outside staff. Just exchanging greetings was plenty, while the more arrogant wouldn't even acknowledge you. Until once when the government office organized an event, and the location was the Newvideo building, which incidentally was the place where Zhang Lin first unsuccessfully tried to paint a brothel. The only thing brothels care about is silver. While these people in the government office weren't short on silver, they weren't wealthy enough to spend extravagantly at the Newvideo building. They would just drink and watch performances. If they couldn't resist, they could go to the cheaper Tianxiang building on another street, or some other shady places. Zhang Lin, as an outside staff, was also dragged along and arranged in a corner. Coincidentally, Zhang Lin met the maid Xiaoshui there, and was invited to Miss Yanluo's room, the key point being he didn't return all night. The next day, Zhang Lin's name spread all over the government office. It was known that to become an intimate guest of Miss Yanluo, at least 20 taels of silver were needed, and even that wasn't guaranteed. Everyone soon learned that Zhang Lin didn't spend a penny to enter. Miss Yanluo even gave him silver, and he enjoyed a free night. What is this? This is freaking immortal level stuff. Normally, this wouldn't matter. Everybody knew Zhang Lin had transcendent artistic skills, his portraits seemed alive, and he usually had many people begging for paintings. They thought Miss Yanluo simply wanted a painting too. But no one expected Zhang Lin to go back the next day, and this time he brought old Joe from the government office, that old constable half-foot in the grave. According to old Joe, he had a great time at the Newvideo building all night, without paying a penny. This was explosive news. Instantly, the whole government office knew that artist Zhang Lin had mad free stuff skills, could visit a brothel without paying, and could even take others along for a free ride. Zhang Lin smiled at the enthusiastic crowd, reciprocating each greeting, but as he approached Kai Yan, his smile faded slightly. "Good morning, Brother Kai." Kai Yan, as if nothing had happened, greeted him with a bright smile. "It is quite early, Head Shui is back, he's waiting for you inside." Zhang Lin was stunned at the words, "Head Shui." Waiting for me. Zhang Lin was also very curious about this 6th grade Qi Blood Realm Chief Constable since joining the government office but had never seen him. It was said he had gone to the county for business and unexpectedly returned today and wanted to see him. Zhang Lin dared not delay and nodded, "I'll go right away." Ignoring Kai Yan, Zhang Lin stepped into the hall, where 2 Taishi chairs were arranged side by side, with one person seated on each side. The person on the left was County Magistrate Du, whom Zhang Lin was familiar with, and the person on the right was a man in his 30s, dressed in black cloud clothing, with a stern face and sharp eyes, a significant sword trace on his brow, provoking involuntary awe. Undoubtedly, this should be the Chief Constable Shui Zheng everyone talked about. Behind Shui Zheng stood a figure familiar to Zhang Lin, none other than Old Fang, who nearly scared him to death that day. Zhang Lin stepped forward, cupped his hands, and greeted, "Greetings, County Magistrate, greetings, Chief Constable." County Magistrate Du didn't speak, continuing to leisurely sip his tea. It was the Chief Constable Shui Zheng who put down his teacup to scrutinize Zhang Lin, with a flash of surprise in his eyes. "Are you Zhang Lin?" "Yes, I am. Did you paint this picture?" Old Fang, next to him, consciously displayed the portrait in his hand, prominently showing the notorious bandit Dan Wenlong. "Yes. Well done. I thought a painter with such skills would be an old craftsman." "Didn't expect you to be so young," said Chief Constable Shui Zheng. "The Chief Constable flatters me." "It's not flattery, you deserve it. I heard you can paint based on others' descriptions." "Yes, does the Chief Constable have any instructions?" Zhang Lin inquired. "Paint a picture for me." Chief Constable Shui Zheng waved his hand, and Zhang Lin noticed that the tools of brush, ink, paper, and inkstone were already prepared beside him. "Certainly." Zhang Lin naturally went over and sat down. After all, this was his job. This person is about 30 years old, male, with a thin face and narrow eyes. As Chief Constable Shui Zheng described, the image of a middle-aged man appeared in Zhang Lin's mind. After a moment, Zhang Lin picked up the brush, and after only a short time, the image in his mind jumped onto the paper. The man had long, narrow eyes, fierce and sharp, and a scar running from the brow down to the chin on his cheek. Zhang Lin blew on the painting to dry the ink. Chief Constable Shui Zheng paused at the sight of the painting, then praised, "Truly lifelike and detailed, well done. Glad the Chief Constable is satisfied. Yes, by the way, Dan Wenlong has escaped, be cautious for a while." Shui Zheng took a sip of tea and said calmly. "What?" Zhang Lin abruptly looked up at the Chief Constable, his face full of astonishment. "Dismissed." "Understood." When Zhang Lin left the hall, his face was gloomy, and in his mind, he kept cursing, "Old Fang. What a useless person, so many people chasing, yet that Dan Wenlong still slipped away." Technically, Dan Wenlong's escape had nothing to do with Zhang Lin, but the issue was that the portrait of Dan Wenlong was painted by Zhang Lin, and it was so accurate. Do you think it was so easy for Zhang Lin to join the government office? Because the previous artist was retaliated against and annihilated by a fugitive invading his home. Though the artist just painted, those criminals don't care, it happened before that an executioner was targeted. No one could guarantee if Dan Wenlong was insane enough to retaliate against the artist, that's why Chief Constable just reminded Zhang Lin to be cautious given past incidents. Damn it, what a mess. Angrily cursing, Zhang Lin turned towards the archives room to learn more about Dan Wenlong's background. Chapter 29-29, Induction into the Rank. This Dan Wenlong is a Zhongyang pirate, previously active around Yeliang Lake. Later, he killed a young noble from a prestigious family and fled here after being hunted. Just some days ago, Old Fang and his team barely caught his trail and surrounded him, yet he still managed to escape. Zhang Lin, you must be careful. If necessary, stay at the government office because no one knows if he will seek revenge on you. As Old Lu from the archives room spoke, he took out the dossier on Dan Wenlong, which detailed some of his crimes over the years. What's his strength and cultivation level? Martial arts 7th grade bone forging realm cultivation, specializing in the martial arts of red snake leg. This martial skill focuses on leg techniques. When practiced to a profound level, the body becomes like a pine tree, and the legs like a snake. One can move effortlessly and be best at leaping and long-distance running, which is how he managed to escape Old Fang's pursuit, explained Old Lu. Zhang Lin reached out to take the dossier and examined it carefully. The description depicted Dan Wenlong as ruthless and vengeful, adept at wielding a short blade called fishgut blade. Combined with his red snake leg technique, he is considered unbeatable, which is why he could escape the pursuit. After reading the dossier, Zhang Lin's face turned even darker. 7th grade bone forging realm. By now, Zhang Lin was no longer a naive beginner unfamiliar with the lower 3rd grades of martial arts. 9th grade. 9th grade involves skin refining, bestowing a strength of 300 jin, and making the skin like a leather armor, resistant to arrows. 8th rank involves tendon transformation, granting a strength of 500 jin, with tendons stretching and contracting powerfully, explosively fierce, and the body becoming agile. 7th grade involves bone forging, granting a strength of 1000 jin, making the bones like refined steel, with immense power. Zhang Lin had been practicing Iron Mountain skill for only half a month. Even with the assistance of the system and the daily consumption of the 8 treasures blood-building soup, he had only reached the threshold of skin refining. Confronting a bone-forging realm expert with the strength of 1000 jin was utterly futile. The only option was to flee. You needn't worry too much. Dan Wenlong is now like a bird startled by the mere twang of a bow. He's probably already left Black Mountain County, and the chance of him retaliating against you is minimal. Not everyone is as unlucky as Zhu Yu. Old Lu referred to Zhu Yu, who was Zhang Lin's senior, the painter whose family was wiped out by the fugitive. Zhang Lin forced a smile. Don't worry, I still care a lot about my life. He returned the dossier and stepped away from the archives room. Brother Zhang, please help a friend in need. I have some urgent family matters and need to borrow 2 taels of silver. Just as he rounded the corner, he ran into Kai Yan, who was sitting idly on a stone bench, who quickly came up to him. Zhang Lin frowned slightly. Brother Kai, you still haven't returned the 5 taels of silver from last time and the 3 taels from the time before that. It's just that my pockets are empty, Kai Yan said casually. Lend me 2 taels this time, and I'll definitely repay you next time. Sorry, I don't have it. When Zhang Lin first joined the government office, he had thought of getting to know this Kai Yan better, only to later find out that he was just a gambler. As soon as he received his salary, he would squander it all at the casino. When he ran out of money, he would borrow, and at first, people would lend to him, only to realize he never repaid, his character being utterly abysmal. So, no one paid attention to him anymore. Zhang Lin had loaned him 8 taels of silver in total, but it was like throwing stones into the sea, with no mention of repayment. Now, Kai Yan came to borrow money again, and even with Zhang Lin's good temper, he was unwilling to be polite to him. Facing Zhang Lin's resolute refusal, Kai Yan's expression turned sour. Brother Zhang, don't be so adamant. I said I'd repay you. You sell just 1 painting for 4 or 5 taels of silver, surely you don't lack this small amount. Zhang Lin was so infuriated by Kai Yan's shameless words that he laughed and, unwilling to respond further, turned away to leave directly. Watching Zhang Lin's departing figure, Kai Yan's face twisted with a dangerous chill in his eyes. Damn it, a mere painter dares to give me the cold shoulder. Does he seriously think I wouldn't dare touch him? ... With the matter of Dan Wenlong, coupled with the irritation from the idiot Kai Yan, Zhang Lin had no mood to stay any longer and went straight home. A gentleman doesn't stand beside a collapsing wall. No one knows if Dan Wenlong will retaliate against me, so I must prepare early for any eventuality. Living at the county government is certainly one way, but it's inconvenient with little stone around. Besides, there's no reason to constantly be on guard against a thief for 1,000 days. I can't possibly stay at the county government for a lifetime just because Dan Wenlong hasn't been caught. After pondering for a while, Zhang Lin headed to the West Market, entered a blacksmith shop, and soon returned with a package. He also went to a pharmacy to buy some doses of 8 treasures blood-building soup before heading back home. Second brother, what are we doing? Little Stone watched Zhang Lin dig the floor with a shovel, full of confusion. Though puzzled, he obediently used a bamboo basket to carry the excavated soil, moving it outside like ants moving house. Digging a cellar is a precautionary measure. Pile this soil in the corner of the yard. I'll think of a way to move it out after dark, Zhang Lin replied without looking back. Oh, the cellar couldn't be completed in a short time. After digging for an hour, he stopped, as there were more important tasks to do. He mixed half of a dose of 8 treasures blood-building soup with boiling water, drinking it whole without splitting into thirds as usual. As the medicine powder dissolved completely, he drank it in one go, feeling a surge of warmth rising from his stomach, hotter than usual. Without hesitation, Zhang Lin dashed into the courtyard, practicing his punches and kicks, his breathing agitated, his movements more frantic than ever. With each breath, Zhang Lin felt the circulation of blood on his skin, tingling and itching. It felt as though his body was covered by a membrane he desperately wanted to tear apart. Zhang Lin recognized this as the sign of entering a new level. After half a month of cultivating Iron Mountain skill, he finally saw this culmination of effort. Suddenly, Zhang Lin sensed a refreshing current flowing throughout his body, leaving an itching sensation on his skin, reminiscent of a cool shower on a hot summer day, cool but not cold, with a slight itchiness as if someone was tickling with a feather. In less than 10 breaths, the refreshing current disappeared. Zhang Lin stopped his movements and stood there, eyes closed, feeling the changes in his body. This robust feeling, is this entering a grade? Zhang Lin stretched lazily, feeling a significant increase in strength. Reaching into the corner, he gripped the edge of the millstone and, with a sharp exertion, lifted it effortlessly with one arm. Indeed, it seems correct. 9th grade martial artists possess the strength of 300 jin. This millstone weighs about 200 jin, and I can easily lift it with one arm. Putting the millstone down, Zhang Lin walked into the kitchen and picked up a kitchen knife, lightly sliding it over his arm. The blade left only a red mark on his skin. He applied more force until using about a third of his strength to barely break it, feeling as if the blade was cutting through cowhide due to its toughness. Chapter 30-30, Tempted by Wealth. Zhang Lin had a go at understanding the 9th grade realm. Simply put, the 9th grade realm gives one tough skin and a strong body, akin to an armored soldier, a fully armed trooper, with whom ordinary people can barely get close. System. Host. Zhang Lin. Skills. Bow technique full level, flying locust stone full level, 3-dimensional painting full level, calligraphy full level, culinary skill full level, Iron Mountain skill full level. Skill points. 8. Looking at the system panel which hadn't changed, Zhang Lin couldn't help but pout. He thought that leveling up would automatically update the system panel, maybe an additional realm section would appear, but he was mistaken. Can't let Iron Mountain skill slack, and when I return to the government office tomorrow, perhaps I can learn some weapon techniques to increase the combat power a bit. He hadn't learned any weapons before, mainly because there wasn't much pressure, and Zhang Lin's focus was entirely on Iron Mountain skill. Now, while Iron Mountain skill still shouldn't be neglected, he must find time to learn some moves and weapons. Though bare-handed combat is powerful, it is still not as deadly as swords and blades. By now, it was completely dark, and Zhang Lin took advantage of the moonlight to cautiously move out the soil he had dug earlier using a bamboo basket and pour it into an abandoned dry well 100 meters away. Fortunately, he hadn't dug much, and Zhang Lin didn't plan on finishing it all at once. After several trips back and forth, he finally managed to deal with all the soil in the courtyard, only getting to sleep by midnight, around 12 o'clock. Days passed quietly, and Zhang Lin spent 3 days on tenterhooks. On this day, at the stroke of midnight in the 4th watch, the entire Black Mountain County, except for a few special locations still lit, was silent, save for the leisurely calls of the night watchman. A figure clad in black swiftly darted around the corner, weaving through the streets, avoiding the gaze of the night watchman and quickly vanishing into the alleyways. This is it, Zhang Lin. Blame your lack of discretion, you didn't understand the principle of concealing wealth. Being killed serves you right. The person entirely cloaked in black, with only a pair of eyes exposed, swept his gaze over the courtyard where Zhang Lin lived with a fierce and cruel glint. If anyone from the government office were present, they would surely recognize this person as Kai Yan. Sometimes, a disguised face is unlike in films, where no one can be recognized. The truth is, familiar people can recognize each other just by body shape and eyes. Kai Yan quickly arrived at the wall, leapt suddenly, and vaulted over the 2-meter-high wall in one bound, landing silently inside like a cat. After landing, Kai Yan glanced around. The courtyard wasn't large, with a kitchen on one side and a study on the other, only the main hall facing the gate emitted faint breathing sounds. Kai Yan's breathing quickened, his eyes full of excitement, especially thinking about the possible hundreds of taels of silver stored in Zhang Lin's home, making his heart pound violently. He had specially investigated Zhang Lin, particularly the income from selling paintings, each at least 3 taels of silver. When painting at Nuoxiong Building, the price was ridiculously high. He had personally witnessed a girl from Nuoxiong Building pay him 20 taels of silver as a pen fee. If he was diligent in the half-month period, he could earn 100 taels of silver. 100 taels of silver were enough for Kai Yan to enjoy for quite a while. With his mind firm and feet not lingering, Kai Yan stealthily tiptoed towards the main hall. Thud! As Kai Yan's right foot stepped forward, the ground suddenly caved in, trapping half his leg. Thanks to his own agility, Kai Yan quickly adjusted his posture, hit the ground with his right palm, leapt up, and landed steadily but not without making a sound. Who's there? Startled awake, Zhang Lin's eyes snapped open. With a swift movement, he dashed out from the main hall. In the courtyard, Zhang Lin and the black-clad intruder faced each other in awkward silence. Kai Yan. Zhang Lin's voice carried a hint of disbelief. Though he was wrapped in black, leaving only his eyes visible, the familiar build and eyes allowed Zhang Lin to easily identify Kai Yan. Immediately, his face showed a wary expression. It was the middle of the night, face concealed, scaling walls, and holding a weapon in hand. Kai Yan, what are you up to? Kai Yan was momentarily stunned when Zhang Lin called out his identity but then surged forward, slashing a short knife at Zhang Lin's throat. The hair on the back of Zhang Lin's neck stood up. Fast, too fast, was this the capability of the 8th rank muscle strengthening realm? 8th rank muscle strengthening bestows 500 pounds of strength, strong elasticity of the tendons, fierce bursts, and agility. This agility was not just nimble but comparable to a cheetah, appearing before Zhang Lin in the blink of an eye, determined to cut him down with the short blade. In a critical moment, Zhang Lin ducked down and rolled aside, dodging the deadly strike. Damn it! Zhang Lin cursed inwardly, never expecting Kai Yan to be so mad as to resort to murder for money. Kai Yan, you too work in the government office. Such actions of murder for wealth are death-worthy crimes, not to mention among colleagues. Aren't you afraid of the chief arrest officer punishing you? Zhang Lin shouted angrily. Humph! If you are dead, who will know it was me? By then, I'll pin everything on Dan Wenlong, Kai Yan retorted with derision. With a fierce stamp on the ground, Kai Yan's speed instantly soared, akin to a cheetah, several times faster, aimed squarely at Zhang Lin's face with the short blade. Finally, Zhang Lin retreated to the window of the study, grabbing a cloth bag from the window pane with his right hand. He fished out something and flung it at Kai Yan. Swoosh! Kai Yan clearly saw the object was an iron caltrop, its 4 sharp spikes gleaming coldly targeted at his right eye. What? Kai Yan's expression changed, and he altered the knife's path to block in front of his face. Clang! With a crisp sound, the iron caltrop clashed with the short blade, a spark bursting forth. Zhang Lin was stirred within, once again reaching into the cloth bag and throwing another iron caltrop. Clang! 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 The full-level flying locust stone skill allowed Zhang Lin to throw the iron caltrops at incredible angles, but Kai Yan easily deflected them. Zhang Lin, I didn't expect you to have such hidden weapon skills, too bad I'm an 8th muscle strengthening realm martial artist. With just these little tricks, despicable. Kai Yan fumed. Suddenly Zhang Lin threw something else. Kai Yan instinctively slashed to deflect it, but instead of the familiar clash, the short blade cut through it, releasing a cloud of white powder, lime powder. A great opportunity. Instead of retreating, Zhang Lin lunged towards Kai Yan. Somehow, a dagger appeared in his hand, its cold light glinting under the moonlight. Seeing that glint of coldness, Kai Yan was terrified, exclaiming, instant kill skill. He was very familiar with this move. In the martial arts pavilion at the government office, the cultivation method was named instant kill skill, also known as sleeve green snake, emphasizing concealing a blade within oneself and striking instantly to kill.